right, welcome to the third video, second review of the evening. Up this time is Melobot, a last song. Like, not sure if the indefinite article should be used here, but putting that aside, an adorable musical
kind of makes sense in context.
Yeah. Anyway, an adorable musical robot named Melobot, created to preserve harmony, awakens on a strange, silent planet consumed by a mysterious dark matter. Now Melobot must embrace a role it was never programmed for, the role of a hero. Right. So this looks like a rhythm-based 3D platformer.
Not really. There's not really any platforming. It's just walking around. It could be done in 2D. It is, however, largely rhythm-based. At any time, aside from moving around, you can use either the face buttons, D-pad, and clicking the right stick, or QWE, ASD, ZXC to play music. You move around with the stick, arrow keys, or clicking and moving towards a thing. There is a dash button, which is important because Melobot is slow AF. But it overheats after a little while, which bothers me. You can upgrade to go faster, but and have longer before you overheat, but like you don't get upgrades very quickly. And you have two basic chords that you can play at pretty much any time, but are mostly relevant in battle. One of them is a healing chord that refreshes your shields, and the other one is a shockwave chord that does damage in an AoE when you let it go. Those are the two things in the upper left corner that are below the dash icon petty. If you want to show those, it's a combination of two buttons. On the keyboard, it's simple. Z is the lowest note and it goes up. Z is do, X is re, C is mi, A is fa, D is so, Q is la, W is T, E is high do, and S is somewhere in the middle. It is actually between fa and so, but like, I think it's Fi is the name of that. Anyway, on a controller, it's like, what is it? It's, I could get these wrong, but it's like down, face button south, face button east, right, left, face button west, face button north, up. It alternates. And there's one interact button for everything, and sometimes the interactions are very abrupt, and sometimes you have to hold for them. So yeah, after you get through the tutorial, you're in the Melo base, and there's a scientist who appears to be stuck in a lava lamp, who is kind of directing you towards places, and you have to go to different areas named after the different modes of music, and heal the Melo plants, which there are different varieties of plant in each world, and each one has a different tune that it responds to, each kind. There are only about 6 or 7, maybe 9 per maximum in the later worlds, I don't know. So you will be playing the same tune a lot, because you have to play the tunes to activate to heal the Melobots, and there will sometimes be technology that you have to destroy, mostly in the form of there's a guardian that shows up when you are detected healing things. So if you walk up to the plant, it'll give you a melody to play. Can you go to the menu and change difficulties? Settings? Yeah, gameplay, visual help. Probably. And that way it tells you. And you basically rhythm game enter the keys correctly to heal the plant, and you are scored on a rank of 3 stars, which at first might not seem to matter. But you are also graded overall on the, like, in order to get a 100% completion on the world, you have to get 3 stars on all of them, which does not mean being absolutely perfect. Some of them are actually pretty it's particularly generous with holding notes longer than they actually are supposed to be held. You don't have to get everything perfect to finish a world, but to get the 100% completion, you have to. The ranks are, musician, expert, and virtuoso. Also, each of the worlds is named after one of the different modes of music, and for each world you get a different instrument plugged into your back, which I assume it certainly is thematically related to the environment of each one. For the desert world, which is the second one after the tutorial, the first one after the tutorial is just a deeper brass instrument. Sorry, I got distracted because I was trying to solve Petty Fan's problems for him in my head. So yeah. Sorry, it's just it is a bit of a tough game if you're not good at timing, or because again, the intended mode of this game is to learn the tunes by ear and or by vertical positioning. So whenever you see those red battery things, you can destroy them, and that shuts off the stuff near them for at least a while. You don't see those much except when the Guardian is doing stuff after this stage, but that's because here you just need to get up to 4 stars worth of thing to progress. But yeah, so yeah, you go around, you heal the things after every encounter with the Guardian, you get an upgrade point, it seems like, and it does change its methodology significantly, so it's not like you're doing the same only boss fight over and over again, but it does get a little bit repetitive. Mostly the thing is the different music you play for each different kind of plant is the main thing, and they do get the first ones are only a few notes. They do get significantly more complicated, and the timing is not always perfect, or rather the timing is not always precisely on the beats. But yeah, so you go to different areas, get different instruments, scan relics of the previous civilization or whatever, and then move on once you're done healing things. And as far as I can tell, I did not get past the ice world, which is the third world after the tutorial, because this is kind of a slow game, and I had a really hard time with the desert music style because it has a lot of short approach notes, and my fingers aren't super fast. But yeah, that's about where it is. Aesthetically, this game is nice. The music is very pleasant and thematic. I really makes me understand why the Ocarina of Time team gave you 4 notes and then the ability to wiggle them. Although, admittedly, that game has way more other mechanics than this game does. Because I'm not a huge fan of how they mapped things. Even on the keyboard, I'm not a huge fan. I would have rather have, like, just done the entire number row 1 through 9. But, not my game. And I don't it's possible the controls were remappable. I didn't really bother trying because I was mostly using my controller because I don't like moving around by clicking and having my character move towards where I'm clicking.
Did give me an option to remap the controls, but I'm like, this means nothing to me.
It would be very complicated to remap the controls, I think.
Yes.
Because it's 8 notes, and you have to figure out a good way to have 8 separate or 9 notes. There is that one in the middle, which I bet in like the last. There are 6 different instruments, so presumably.
I mean, like, because I have a numpad, I could probably just put them on that, and it would probably be easier for me to keep things straight in my head. Than trying
There's 7 worlds, or there's probably a 7th world after the 6. I believe there are 7 modes. Because basically, if you're on a piano and you're playing only the white keys, I believe the modes are all you're playing a scale, and it depends on which key you start on. So presumably, there is a 7th world where stuff gets weird. I don't know if you'll get a 7th instrument or finally be able to swap freely at that point. As it is, in the lobby of the Melo base, a new instrument appears with each world, but you can't choose between them. You just automatically get equipped with the right one when going out. It seems like they're setting it up for you to be able to equip them freely, but I don't see any actual ability to do this. You do seem to be able to travel back to old worlds to try to get Virtuoso on plants you did not already get Virtuoso on, I guess. But yeah, no, my complaints about this game are pretty much entirely that the base travel speed is too slow. I understand they want to make the enemies a little bit hard to get away from when they are there, since otherwise your attack is huge. And that while I understand it's difficult to come up with a satisfactory method to map 9 notes to a control method, I don't think the ones they came up with are amazing. But otherwise, I think this is generally a pretty good experience. Again, I can't speak towards the end of the game if it has a satisfying conclusion or anything. Overall, the general tune is kind of melancholy because scientist dude is trapped in a jar, and all the stuff you scan, because that's the other thing, is there's relics that you're scanning. He just has reactions. Oh, this used to be a nice place. Too bad it's all busted up now. Or, oh, hey, the plants are growing really nicely here. So, those are the main things, I think. You do get a lot of, logs to read if you want to. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
I'll give it minor points for being different. This is probably one of the more unique games that have rolled across our desk this year.
I'd also really like it if you had more ways of interacting with your environment than one button to examine and then 2 2-note chords to do a thing. Also, the health system is really unintuitive. your shield automatically comes up in battle, and you can play the heal/shield song to repair it. But like you can take a certain amount of dings to your shield without actually taking actual damage. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the first two worlds are brass. The second world is, the visual of it is like a drum with 4 long strings attached to it that look like they have varying tension or something, but it sounds more like a string instrument than a drum. For some reason, my head wants to say it's an oud, but I don't know. But again, they don't look precisely like it either. And then the third real world is a snow world, and the instrument is a harp. And it's very, snow level music. So yeah, that's about what I got. What's the price looking like, Adam?
Fairly pricey, as this game will set you back $24.99. Though it is on sale just for the next 20 hours at $19.99. So
that is pretty high, actually. I might wait for a sale, especially if you're not super into rhythm games. And even if you're into rhythm games, because it's not like a hardcore rhythm game.
I guess if you're also hard of hearing, congratulations on enjoying this podcast.
Oh yeah, if you can't play the game with sound,
yeah,
it's still playable, but you probably won't enjoy it much.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since the timing is a little bit imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's probably about all I got.
All right then. So that'll about do it for Melobot here. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Flowstone Saga.